llegado el momento de la presentación del parche 5.2 del Genshin Tapestry of Spirit and Flame. Tapestry es como algo de fuego y espíritus y llamas. Aquí, como os podéis ver, empieza en 3 minutos. En 3 minutos volvemos. Y que este arte, la verdad, me encanta mucho de Concitali y Ororon. Así que nada, vayamos a ver lo que presentarán en este parche. En un segundo comienza ya.
We're a tribe of warriors. In ancient times, we were responsible for patrolling and defending all of Natlan.
So Khan's still managing to sow discord, even after all these years.
Chasca.
If you want to resolve a conflict through dialogue, sometimes you need a third-party facilitator. At this time and place, I'll bet the easiest person to find is...
No me jodas, Chasca.
His spirit has gotten lost and can't find its way back to his body.
I just want to rescue someone, and Granny won't let me.
En castellano sí se podrá. En castellano sí se podrá.
500 years later, and it's resurfaced again.
En castellano sí, en YouTube sí se podrá ver con subtítulos.
As long as the soul is involved, I should be able to help. Be free!
Take me up!
Defending all of Natlan.
Ahora sí, ahora mejor así.
So Khan's still managing to sow discord, even after all these years.
If you want to resolve a conflict through dialogue, sometimes you need a third-party facilitator. At this time and place, I'll bet the easiest person to find is...
Mucho mejor con subtítulos así.
His spirit has gotten lost and can't find its way back to his body.
I just want to rescue someone, and Granny won't let me.
Yo no voy a tirar por ninguno de estos.
500 years later, and it's resurfaced again.
Hostia, capitán.
I worry that we risk repeating the mistakes of the Cinder City.
As long as the soul is involved, I should be able to help. Be free!
Take me up!
Hace mucho mejor para verlo con subtítulos. Aunque va con retraso de 30 segundos. Con
Time to say hello!
Knock him down.
It's either your end or mine!
Before the final moment truly arrives, we must fight harder than ever.
Ha molado mucho. Ha molado mucho. Primer código.
Welcome to the Genshin Impact version 5.2 special program. I'm Gabe from the Loke team.
And I'm Kai. We meet again. Whoa, a Kukusaur. Want to join us?
Hey, don't be shy.
ahí tenéis
Come out
el
and say
código.
hello.
I'm not sure what that meant, but it was adorable.
She approves of your compliment.
Hey, I didn't know you
Hi.
could speak Saurian.
Oh, I can't. But I can make an educated guess based on her body language.
Whoa, are all Kukusaurs as friendly as this one?
Adult Kukusaurs are usually very proud
Perfecto.
creatures, but there are always exceptions.
Well,
Ay.
since our Kukusaur friend
hablan
kicked
eso
things
porque
off for us,
siguen
I know
huelga-
just the place to start. The
huelga no.
Flower Feather
Sí,
Clan.
huelga, los-
All right, let's do it.
estos, los
Kukusaurs
dobladores
live
por
among the
temas de la
Flower
IA y así.
Feather Clan, which is suspended high above the mountains. This is a tribe of warriors, and most of their people can command the power of the skies. It was the Flower Feather Clan's ancient duty to patrol and safeguard the entire region of Natlan.
Dios mío.
As elite special forces, their job was to detect threats, disseminate intel,
A ver.
and quickly neutralize any dangers to the nation. Though the circumstances are different now,
Así
the
mola
tribe
mucho más
never
tener
forgot its
subtítulos,
origins.
al menos
They still hold
entiendo.
trials to assemble the fastest teams in the tribe. The trials test a pilot's skill and teamwork with the Kukusaurs.
Oh, I'm so pumped about these Kukusaurs.
Yeah, cuckosaurs are the proudest out of all the saurians. They know that they're the kings of the sky. Cuckosaurs can consume phlogiston to climb higher or perform a horizontal roll in midair. Holding the sprint button allows them to enter an accelerated glide state after a horizontal roll. In addition, they can even use phlogiston wind tunnels to quickly cover great distances.
Okay, so I'm assuming that cuckosaurs are really hard to tame.
Yeah, that's true. You need to prove yourself in some worthwhile feat, like demonstrating exceptional archery skill during flight. That's the only way to become a true cuckosaur rider.
Wow, that's so strict.
Yeah, tell me about it. But okay, now that we've got a glimpse of the Flower Feather clan, it's time for a quiz.
What? Already?
¿En serio?
Yep, I hope you're prepared. Every tribe in that land has a unique way of communicating with their saurian companions. The members of the Flower Feather clan use a special item to summon their cuckosaurs. What is that
Ni idea.
item?
A basket filled with their favorite foods?
Here's a hint. We just saw the
Nice.
answer in the previous video.
Oh, I remember now. Horn.
Ding ding ding! Cuckosaurs live far from the tribe and from each other,
Nice.
so in order to summon them, the tribespeople use whistles and horns to produce loud noises. So there's your overview of cuckosaurs.
No me
Maybe
interesa
they
esto, la
sound a
verdad.
little unapproachable compared to other saurians, but don't worry, travelers. If you get into a tough situation, then Chasca, the Flower Feather clan's expert peacemaker, can help mediate the conflict.
Chasca.
Nitch mentioned
pensaba
that
que
her
Chasca
method
era
of
de
mediation
los retoños,
is
pero no.
silencing both parties. Is that true?
Well, that's only in
A
special
ver, ¿qué era
cases.
Yuko? Vos?
Most of the
Estoy
time,
mirando, a ver.
Chasca barely needs to intervene. Everyone knows what she's capable of, so people usually find a way to set aside their differences when she shows up.
Oh, so she doesn't just handle conflicts between humans and saurians. She keeps the peace between people too.
Exactly. Chasca was
Madre,
corrupted by
Fullmetal
abyssal
Alchemist
power as a
salió.
child, so she
Astro
has
Boy
a strong compulsion
también.
to fight, but she knows how to rein it in.
Right. I heard that she was abandoned as a baby.
De Greyman
It seems like she's
también.
been through a lot.
Yeah, but luckily for her, the cuckosaurs took her in and raised her as one of their own.
Dragon.
In addition to hunting and flying,
Gintama.
Chasca gained a lot of unique combat experience from her saurian childhood. When Chasca is in your party,
Bleach.
defeating monsters will restore phlogiston to your party. While she's in the Night Soul's blessing state, Chasca can ride and control her gun like a
Esto mola
cuckosaur.
mucho, que pueda volar.
The Soul Sniper doesn't just increase her movement speed and resistance to interruption, it also allows her to get a better angle on her enemies.
Wow, that mid-air perspective is so cool. It seems so liberating.
Yeah, and Chasca's fierce when she's in the zone. In the Night Soul's
Pam, pam,
blessing
pam.
state, Chasca's normal
Claire
attacks
in
deal
Resident
animo
Evil.
damage to enemies in front of her. Unleashing a charged attack in this state will cause Chasca to enter a
Esto sí,
special
yo solo
aiming
miro
mode.
para ver si me suena
This
alguno.
allows her to lock onto a set number of enemies within range and fire up to 6 Shadow Hunt shells, which deal animo damage upon impact. In addition, for every Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro character in your party, one of Chasca's Shadow Hunt shells will undergo an elemental
Pam,
conversion
pam,
to deal the
pam.
corresponding type of elemental damage.
Whoa, no way! So Chasca can directly deal other types of elemental damage based on the characters in her party. And since she's an animal character, she can swirl them at the same time. That's awesome!
Yeah, I know, right? Her elemental burst has a similar function too.
Ba-da-da.
Chaska fires a gale-splitting Soul Seeker shell during her burst,
Vaya, a
which
mí esto
deals
no me
animo
gusta
damage.
porque los
The attack
prefiero
then
más
splits into
verlos
6 Soul Seeker shells, which
cuando
continue
los
to attack
sacan.
nearby enemies. These
Probarlos
shells
yo
can
mismo.
also undergo elemental conversions.
That's so cool! No wonder she's one of the strongest warriors in her tribe.
Speaking of her tribe, the warriors from the Flower Feather clan are formidable for sure, but we should also shed some light on those who aren't as skilled.
Oh, are you talking about the wingless? That's what the tribe
Right.
calls people who fail the flight trials, right? They're the challengers who fail to earn the recognition of a cuckosaur.
Exactly. But the name doesn't indicate that those people are weak or deserve to be cast aside. The Flower Feather
Vale, eso es
clan
para
has its
misión
own
de
definition of
rival.
strength.
O que aún
There's
tengo que
a
hacer la
tacit
de
understanding that the wingless are supposed to be protected
Esta, la
until they
de
can fly by
Shilonen.
themselves. But that assumption is challenged in Tribal Chronicles Tlalocan. Someone will dare to ask, what if you didn't need a cuckoo sword to fly? If you could change the rules, then maybe there wouldn't be any wingless to begin with. Now, whether that's the right path is for us to discover. Chasca will also be there to help us find the answer. So, be sure to check out Chasca's Tribal Chronicle if you're interested in what happens.
Is there anything else that you can tell us?
Remember how I mentioned that Chasca was raised by cuckoo swords?
Yeah, tell us about it.
Her Saurian mother will make an appearance in this quest. Even though she's joined human society, Chasca still goes to visit her Saurian mother on occasion, especially when she needs some help with a tough situation.
Oh, so Chasca still has a soft side, even though she's a fearsome warrior.
Definitely. The Flower Feather Clan is also the setting for the Archon Quest Chapter 5 interlude. All fires fuel the flame. The tribe is facing a crisis, and they'll need the travelers' help to find a solution.
What kind of crisis?
Well, the Flower Feather Clan suffered the worst of the abyssal contamination during the battle in version 5.1. It's not just the human body that can't withstand high concentrations of abyssal power. For most people, it also damages the mind. Many members of the Flower Feather Clan are suffering from the mental repercussions of the abyss, and the tribe is in desperate need of aid. Iansan will be there too. After rebuilding her own tribe, the Collective of Plenty, she's traveling around Natland to help those in need.
The people of Natland really value unity, don't they? No one fights alone. Right. That's one of my favorite things about Natland. Oh, wait. It looks like the captain will also be there.
Yes, the captain will also offer help to the tribe. You may pick up on some interesting information if you pay close attention to what he has to say. The captain rarely gives away too much information in his regular interactions, but his secrecy here seems a little peculiar. So keep an eye out, but of course, restoring Natland's fighting spirit remains the top priority. After all, the war isn't over yet. The abyssal contamination is still around, and we have a very important battle ahead. Natland needs mental fortitude more than ever before.
The Flower Feather Clan is pretty close to the Masters of the Nightwind, where the Ictomosaurs live. That tribe could be another good place to recover from the battle.
Oh yeah, let's check it out.
If you head west from the Stadium of the Sacred Flame and go past the towering walls, you'll eventually arrive at the settlement of the mysterious Masters of the Nightwind. The tribal settlement offers a unique glowing landscape at night. If you venture even further, then you might encounter the tribe's Wath Ictomosaur Elder or one of the many shamans who can communicate with spirits. I even heard that the witch doctors who live there can help cleanse your spirit. Plus, the graffiti art is really incredible. In fact, there's something special about this one. Can you figure it out, travelers? It's kind of tricky, right? Well, don't worry, the Ictomosaurs can help us out. Ictomosaurs are known for their wisdom. They can use their unique sight to detect things that can't be seen through normal means.
Whoa, okay.
Right. Ictomosaurs are especially skilled at detecting ley lines and phlogiston. They can absorb power from phlogiston objects to enhance their abilities. Doing so allows them to jump higher, move faster, or even obtain surprising rewards. Ictomosaurs can also extract information from graffiti art to create special objects.
Oh, I bet that'll come in handy for solving puzzles.
Definitely, especially in Tribal Chronicles Mictland, which will become available in version 5.2. The first two acts feature a lot of intriguing puzzles, so be sure to check them out, travelers. Some of them will require the help of an Ictomosaur, and others can be solved on your own.
I noticed that Ictomosaurs can perform fast-paced jumps when they have enough phlogiston, and it looks like so much fun. Do we know anyone who can use that ability? Besides the new Saurian, I mean.
Yes, Auroron can do it too. Like the Ictomosaurs, Auroron has the ability to rise into the air. He also has a keen sense of perception. While charging an aim shot, Auroron will enter the Spirit Speaker state, allowing him to extract power from Natland's graffiti and runes.
Speaking of Auroron, I was honestly super surprised by his personality. Before the 5.1 Archon quest, I thought that he looked like a stern, stoic, and harsh type of character. but as it turns out, he's just a sweet kid.
Yeah, it's kind of unexpected, right? Is he really that sweet, though? Just to think about all the sneaking around behind his granny's back.
True.
The tribespeople of the Masters of the Nightwind are known for being eccentric, but Auroron really takes it to the next level.
Yeah, it sounds like he does things his own way. I wonder if that extends to his combat abilities.
It does. Auroron is a bit different from the Natlan characters we've met so far. He doesn't need to depend on the Night Soul's Blessing state to gain Night Soul points, and he can maintain the Night Soul's Blessing state even while he's off-field.
That does sound different from the other Natlan characters. So how do his abilities work?
Let me start by explaining how Auroron gains Night Soul points. This can happen in multiple ways. For example, Auroron can gain Night Soul points when one of his party members triggers a Night Soul burst. He can also gain them when other party members deal hydro or electro attacks to enemies after Auroron unleashes his elemental skill.
Oh, then it sounds like he works well with hydro and electro characters.
Yep, and in combat, when enemies take damage from electro-charged reactions or other party members deal Night Soul aligned damage, Auroron can consume Night Soul points to enter the Night Soul's Blessing state and trigger the Hypersense effect, dealing electro damage.
Oh, I see. So you need to pair him with the right characters if you want him to gain Night Soul points, enter the Night Soul's Blessing state, and trigger the effect.
Exactly. Though I should mention that Auroron doesn't need to be on the field to trigger the Hypersense effect.
Wait, he can trigger it even while he's off-field? That sounds really useful.
Totally. His elemental burst provides a convenient way to deal damage and support your party. Auroron performs an ancient reach roll with his burst to summon a supersonic Oculus, which taunts nearby enemies to draw them in. Once they're up close, the Oculus releases a sound wave to deal damage.
That should be great for crowd control.
Yes! With Auroron in your party, dealing with large groups of enemies should be a lot easier. And speaking of making things easier, Auroron can also improve the exploration experience by boosting the gliding speed of your characters.
Awesome!
Auroron really cherishes his friends. With a little teamwork on his side, I'm sure victory will always be within reach.
Cool. So we introduced two of the upcoming regions in this update, the Flower Feather Clan and the Masters of the Nightwind. But there's more. Version 5.2 actually introduces another new region. It's called Natlan.
Oh, I think we caught a glimpse of this ancient city when we were looking at the Flower Feather Clan. It's really beautiful from far away, but those clouds look kind of ominous. It looks completely abandoned. Is it dangerous?
Yes. This is a restricted area in Natlan due to its severe abyssal contamination, and it seems uninhabited. Over the years, many adventurers have come here in search of treasure or to slay the dragon. Unfortunately, none of them have ever returned. The Flower Feather Clan often sends riders to patrol the area and to prevent people from getting too close.
Wait, did you say slay the dragon?
Yeah, I know we introduced some adorable Saurians earlier, but this creature is actually really terrifying. It occupies this ancient city and guards it fiercely. If it detects an intruder, then it will attack without hesitation.
Okay, that's pretty concerning.
It's easy to take human-saurian coexistence for granted these days, but it actually took generations of effort to reach this point. This relationship wasn't nearly so harmonious in the ancient past. Travelers will need to explore Natlan to uncover the reason behind this dragon's rampage. Of course, travelers won't have to do this alone. Here, take a look.
Oh, what's that?
This is a very important companion who will help us explore Natlan. His name is Kokoweek. As for his power, well, why don't you take a guess?
Okay, is he our moral support? You know, maybe he could make a cute noise every now and then to cheer us up.
Hey, let's not put our Tapetlosaur friend out of a job. Little one works really hard.
Okay. Then I've got nothing.
Remember how I mentioned that Natlan is heavily corroded by the abyss? Well, that's where Kokoweek comes in. We can use his power to clear abyssal contamination. Follow the direction indicated by his light to collect secret source scraps and enhance his power. Once Kokoik has enough power, you can take him to track down the evil dragon.
What a useful little guy.
I know, right? Now, travelers can explore Ochkanatlan with two companions, Kokoik and Little One. In fact, I've heard there's even a special token around here that can enable Little One to traverse a volcano. A new adventure with Little One awaits in version 5.2.
Vale, vamos.
This update will bring us one step closer to uncovering the mysteries of Little One's past. Familiar Saurian companions can also help us explore
Que yo aún no lo he
Ochkanatlan.
visitado.
For
Sé que se
example,
le
with
puede
the help of a
visitar, pero aún no lo he
Kaholosaur,
visitado.
we can evade source mechanism attacks. With the help of an Ikitomisaur, we can solve certain puzzles. With the help of a Kukusaur, we might even be able to chase down the evil dragon. But we'll leave the rest for you to discover, travelers.
Wait, are those some kind of lava fish? Does this mean we can fish in Natlan?
Yes, but I've got some friendly advice, travelers. You should be very careful while exploring Ochkanatlan. Some of the abyssal monsters here can distort their
Ochkanatlan.
appearance to mimic powerful enemies. High-level monsters such as the tenebrous Papilla can mimic even stronger enemies.
Huh? It looks like these monsters take the form of plants outside of combat.
Yep, that's true. The Abyss has corroded Natlan's ley lines, allowing these monsters to read the memories inside of them and mimic creatures from Tevat.
How do we defeat them?
Travelers will need to use elemental attacks to break the enemy's protective
Chasca.
void wards.
No voy a
Doing
tirar
so
por Chasca,
allows them
voy a-
to
voy a
take
ahorrar.
damage and causes them
Voy a
to
ahorrar.
enter a brief state of confusion. Night Soul aligned elemental
Voy a
attacks
ahorrar.
are
Va a ser otro
especially
parche de
effective
ahorro pa'
against
mí.
these wards.
Wow, the Abyss has gotten so advanced. It's scary to think about how much harder these fights will get if these abyssal monsters continue to evolve.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a lot of information to take in at once. But before we take our first break, we still have a couple of short announcements. Really short, I promise. First up, limited time exploration rewards will be available in version 5.2. Just like in version 5.1, travelers can earn up to 400 extra Primo Gems. And the rewards will be available all the way through version 5.3. It's now time to introduce the event wishes. In the first half of version 5.2, travelers can look forward to event wishes from Chasca and Lenny. Auroron will also receive a drop rate boost. And in the second half of version 5.2, we'll have returning event wishes for Zhongli and New Villette. The weapon banner will feature a
Dios mío. A ver, lo siento.
we'll have returning event wishes for Zhongli and New Villette. The weapon banner will feature a new 5-star bow, Astro Vulture's Crimson Plumage, and 2 new Natland specific 4-star weapons. Be sure to check them out if you're interested.
All right, it's time for our first break. Once we come back, we'll dive right into the event portion.
Vale, segundo código. Vale, ya han pasado.
Welcome back,
Este
travelers.
es evento.
Welcome back! Let's dive straight into the event section. So in the first event, we'll get to learn more about the Masters of the Nightwind.
That's right. In the version 5.2 event, Ikitomi Spirit-Seeking Scrolls, travelers will team up with Citlali and Auroron to get to the bottom
Vale,
of a
conocer más
mysterious
su
accident
tribu.
that occurred within their tribe.
Travelers will need to complete combat challenges to defeat enemies who try to disrupt the ritual. They'll also need to reconstruct scenes from the tribe's woven scrolls and gather lost spirits scattered throughout the region. Travelers will only be able to uncover the truth if they collect
una
all the
espada.
clues.
Hostia,
But don't
me mola
worry,
mucho el
there are
diseño.
also various rewards to earn along the
Me
way,
mola mucho
including
ese
Primo
diseño.
Gems.
Ooh, I really like the vibe of this event. It looks like Citlali is performing some kind of ritual. It's also mysterious.
When a situation gets tough, it's Granny to the rescue.
Definitely.
Citlali and Auroron have some really fun dialogue in this event.
I'm always grabbing the popcorn whenever these two interact. They're practically a two-person show. And speaking of fun, let's get into the event gameplay. First up is the Search for Lost Spirits minigame. Travelers will have to work together to herd the scattered roaming spirits into specific zones to earn points. Pay attention to the conditions on the field if you want a higher score. For example,
Este evento
travelers
ya hubo,
can
esta
jump
cosa
on
ya
stone
hubo.
slabs that appear on the field. These slabs will break open and release even more spirits. Storms may also appear
Esta
during the
cosa ya
game.
hubo.
You can track down spirits more effectively if you pay attention to the direction of the storms.
Esta cosa
In
ya
Evil
hubo.
Banisher, travelers will need to select the right teams to complete the objectives. Completing all of the objectives will award you the Banishing Aura, which allows you to deal AoE damage by spraying paint
Ay.
at enemies.
That paint really matches the Masters of the Night Wind's aesthetic. It's super cool.
Yeah, and so does the Spirit Loom in restoring fragmented records. Citlali will use her powers to reveal special fragments. Travelers will need to piece these fragments together and assemble them on a woven scroll.
Make sure that you pay attention to the order and positions of the fragments. Oh, there's something else that we
Ay,
should
el
mention.
arma.
Travelers can obtain a new 4-star sword by completing this event. The design definitely fits the Masters of the Night Wind.
El
It
diseño sí
looks
que
like
mola.
some kind of
La verdad, el
ceremonial
diseño sí que mola.
artifact.
I totally agree. Oh, and this event will allow travelers to learn more about Natlan's secrets. For example, this quest will reveal new clues about a mysterious and legendary place, the Mare Javari.
Wow,
Mare
we've been
Javari.
hearing about this place since Mondstadt. It'll be nice to get some new information. On a related note, the Adventurers Guild has prepared a new trial
Un
for its
evento
members.
de
Active
esto, de
adventurers have been
este
invited to
será
take on the
evento del
challenge,
que te basas
including the
en una
Traveler.
hora,
Travelers
menos.
will need to complete various challenges with designated characters and fully leverage their skills to earn rewards. I know you're up to the challenge, Travelers. Good luck.
In Mondstadt-related news, the Knights of Favonius are conducting a war game to improve security tactics in the region.
Un nuevo
And who better to
evento,
test
al
these
menos a
tactics
Mondstadt, volvemos
than
a
the
Mondstadt,
honorary
al
knight?
menos.
Be
Con
sure to pay
evento.
close attention to the game, since the format has changed this time. Travelers will need to select combat units and stratagems to deploy against the opposing formation. Once the lineup is set, the monsters will fight automatically. Available combat units and stratagems are completely random,
Vale.
you know, just to build some unpredictability into the wargame. The chances of encountering elite combat units increases as the wargame progresses. Even more elite monsters will be available for travelers to use. It's a volatile environment, so do your best to win
Vale,
as many
bueno,
rounds as
entonces un
possible,
Pokémon.
earn wargame medals, and collect the rewards.
All right, let's keep the excitement rolling in this next event. We actually have a demo, so please take a look.
No,
Oh,
hostia, en
looks
serio.
like they're selecting tactics. Double
¿En
damage?
serio?
That sounds powerful.
De la TCG.
Whoa, it's automated. Cool. The elemental reaction effects are completely different.
This brand new heated battle mode is called Automatic Artistry. Powerful support cards have been added for nearly every elemental reaction. Choose cards that align with your strategies to trigger
El
powerful
TCG que no-
elemental reactions.
Y,
The
hostia.
effects will change depending on how you play. In addition, the overall gameplay is very laid back. Characters will automatically duel each other, and skill animations are now shorter in length.
Wow, it's like we got a whole new Genius Invocation TCG after coming back from Natland. Talk about whiplash.
That's right. Even if you've never played Genius Invocation before, I really recommend checking out this new gameplay mode in version 5.2. The new version will also bring
A
a
ver,
few
nuevas
updates to
cartas.
regular Genius Invocation TCG.
Sigue igual
Do
que
you
uno
ever
de sus
feel a little
su
cooped up while
misión.
you're playing card games? Well, don't worry about that. Our next event will give travelers the opportunity to enjoy the great outdoors. In Claw Convoy, travelers will need to help Lamia track down some adopted animals. Travelers will be able to
Joder.
see the animal's point of view by using a special tool. Once you've managed to deduce their location, you'll be able to track them down. Once the animals are safe and sound, travelers will receive a gift from the mysterious figure who adopted them. I feel like Auroran would really shine in this event. He's definitely an animal lover.
I can see that. I'm sure that he would jump at the chance to meet animals from other nations.
Yeah.
Finally, the Leyline Overflow
Leyline,
event will
¿cómo
return
no?
in version
Este evento
5.2.
vuelve.
If you need Mora
todas
or
partes está
character
este
EXP
evento.
materials, then keep an eye out.
Alright, let's dive into some updates and game optimizations. First up is the change to the
A ver,
Imaginarium
cambio en
Theater.
esto.
Previously, travelers would be returned to the theater lobby after completing a challenge and have to reopen the Fantasia Tome to continue. Travelers provided
Ta-da!
feedback that this setup interrupted their experience. So, this will no longer be the case in version 5.2. Now, after finishing a battle, all you need to do is click Next Act if you want to keep fighting.
Nice. Travelers can now enjoy the thrill of combat without any interruptions.
No me
And for
interesa.
all the generous travelers who like to configure supports for their friends, a supporting caster record has been added in the new update. You can now check
personajes
which
de
friends
ayuda,
have
de
borrowed your
support.
supports by looking at the supporting cast screen.
Cool. It'll be nice to know that our supports are helping people out.
Yup. Oh, and the party configuration mechanic has also been optimized. Besides the elemental filtering, the Imaginarium Theater will now feature recommended row icons, elemental statistics, and markers for the main types of enemies.
That is so helpful. I'll occasionally put together a random team if I've just started experimenting with some characters, but this information should make it a lot easier to form strategic teams.
These markers will display key information on how to counter enemies, but in a much more prominent position. Hopefully, this change will make it easier for travelers to form the best teams.
Yes. Now we can directly see which elements work best against specific enemies. That's definitely going to save some time.
For sure. And we can expect even more optimizations in the future as travelers continue to provide valuable feedback about their experiences. Okay, let's introduce the other system optimizations coming in version 5.2. You can outsort 5-star artifacts in your inventory based on when you obtained them, from the most recent to the oldest. Second, the animations for crafting materials, forging weapons, building furniture,
se han
and
hecho
cooking
más rápido
dishes
esto.
are now shorter in length.
That's really nice. The dev team designed a lot of
Mucho
intricate
mejor, que sea
animations
más
for these
rápido.
features, but it can feel a bit frustrating when you have to watch them over and over again.
There will
Porque
also
esto
be
se hace-
several
se hace muy
optimizations
lento.
for the Serena teapot. The seed dispensary can now hold
verdad.
more of every type of seed. You'll be able to purchase wood at the Realm Depot in exchange for Realm currency. In addition, the cooldown for the boon of the Elder Tree will be reduced to 5 seconds. This way, it will be easier for travelers to collect wood.
Awesome. I've been meaning to use some cool replicas in my Serena teapot, but I'm always short on wood. So this should be really helpful.
Nice! I'm so excited
Dios
for you!
mío.
Oh, and optimizations have been made to artifact locking. The updated lock assistance interface will allow you to configure lock settings with a single click. Just hit Use Recommended Settings and you're set. The recommended set lock plans will even update automatically based on popular in-game configurations. Of
Vale.
course, if you have your own ideas in mind, then you can always disable the recommended plans to configure custom ones instead.
The update also allows you to batch lock artifacts in your inventory
Nice.
based on the recommended general lock plan and set lock plans. This will make it much faster to organize your inventory. In addition, a shortcut button that navigates to the lock assistance interface will be added to the artifact domain challenge screen and the artifact acquisition screen. This should make it easier for travelers to
está bien.
configure their locking rules whenever they want. A star feature will also be added next to the lock button on each artifact. Travelers can use this feature to mark their favorite artifacts and filter by stars to quickly track them down.
Finally, treasure compasses will now be able to locate even more treasure locations, including Sealies and time trial challenges. A quick swap feature will also be
lo de-
added for treasure compasses and
Lo
Oculus
de-
Resonance
está bien lo
stones.
de los...
Enabling
eso
this
de
feature
deseos.
will allow travelers to more easily use these devices across regions. The feature will automatically switch to the compass or stone that corresponds to your location in the game.
Awesome!
Be sure to check out future
Que esto
announcements for more details on the
tesoros se
version
cambiará
5.2
según las listas
optimizations.
automáticamente
All right,
y mostrar
that
más
was a
cosas.
lot of info, so this seems like a good time for our second break.
It's time for the third redemption code.
Vale, tercero, venga, tercer código.
Hi,
Pues,
travelers. What
ah,
else do we
falta
have on the
poco.
agenda, Gabe?
We have some very exciting news to share.
Igual,
After
hola.
the version update on November 20th,
Ah,
travelers
de
will be
la
able to
Xbox.
play Genshin Impact on the Xbox Series X and S. Log
Vale.
into Genshin Impact on Xbox Series X and S consoles to receive the Wind Glider Wings of Fate's Course Intertwined. Additionally, Xbox Game
unas
Pass
alas.
Ultimate members can play Genshin Impact via cloud gaming. They'll also find extra rewards in their in-game mailbox.
Awesome.
All right,
Vale,
that should
pues
be
a
everything.
poner con el
That
Game
means
Pass.
that we've reached the end of the
ponerle-
special
a
program.
poner algo con el
Is
Game
there
Pass.
anything that you want to say before we go, Kai?
Yes, I'm really looking forward to all the new characters. Chasca and her weapons seem really incredible. I'd love to see how her tribal chronicle unfolds because she has such an amazing personality. And Auroran seems like a very layered character. The storytelling is definitely going to shine. What about you, Gabe?
Yeah, I'm just so excited for players to experience more of the Natlan storyline, and we have so much to explore this time. I mean, 2 new tribes and a new area as well. And one thing I've always loved about Genshin Impact is how it's multi-platform. Like, I'm always logging in on different devices depending on where I am, so it's just exciting to see another platform become available for everyone. And yeah, on that note, I hope you have fun with the new version, travelers.
Bye.
Bye.
¿Van a mostrar algo más? Parece que no. Parece que no. No. Pues esto ha sido todo. Esto ha sido todo.